morning, everyone. Sorry, I do hope this is live and this is on okay. It's hard to know when you're speaking to a back of a phone and you're up on nails to some weird wooden structure. So I'm just hoping. So I'd like to welcome you all back this week, and thanks for tuning in this morning and this early. As you can see, also I have changed my space again. I'm back home in Clare, which is really lovely, and it's nice to be able to roll out of bed and roll into the yoga space rather than having to walk into town. So this practice this morning, Strength for Yoga, it will incorporate kind of the whole body. We're looking at the hips, at core, and at the upper body. I will put more of a focus on shoulder strength and integrity. I have a tendency in this class to do a lot of repetition because that's a great way of building strength. But what I'm going to kind of intertwine in today's practice is repetition, but also some longer holds, what we call time under tension. And it is a great way of physically building strength, but it's also going to require some mental strength from you as well for this practice this morning. So what I'd like you to just really be aware of is what's happening through all the layers of the body. So what's physically happening as you move, what's happening in the mind, what are the reactions, especially to some of these longer holds, and maybe what's happening in the heart as you flow too. Okay, so just keep that mindfulness, that awareness as we move into this practice today. I hope you're all doing good. I hope you're all well. And we will begin lying down. Now what you will need is a block or a book. I've kind of changed the sequence up a little bit, so it's not too important, but we will be using it just here at the start of the practice. Like I said, it's okay if you don't have one available to you. And when you're ready, you can just get yourself set up and settle. So lie on your back and just take I would suggest a constructive rest. So you can bring your feet about hip width distance apart. Knees are bent. And the arms can rest either alongside your body, or they may wish to rest upon your body. And you're welcome to close your eyes. And for those of you that are joining me live here, it's still quite early, so just take your time as you settle and as you wake up. And you're welcome to use the breath here as a way of just clearing out and fully arriving in. And that can be through some sighing, audible exhalations. You may wish to just continue with a natural flow of your breath, observing it as it moves in and out of your body. Or maybe you have another way. So whatever feels good for you right now is welcome. And take your time. Take your time. And when you feel ready to, allow for a natural breath to begin to flow. And settling the body down, feeling into the support underneath you as the breath breathes you here. And as important as stillness is to help us settle. Maybe for you, you might wish to just wiggle around a little bit if you wish to move the pelvis, especially if you've just gotten out of bed, or the jaw might want to move side to side, just releasing some tension. Maybe the head wants to turn. And we'll just work through some deeper diaphragmatic breaths here. And for feedback, you might wish to bring the heel of your hands just down towards the sides of the waist, underneath the ribs, around that soft part of the waist. Fingers just naturally curling forward towards your navel. And as you breathe here, encouraging a 360-degree breath. So feeling that sense of expansion through all the sides of the waist. And begin just by encouraging the breath towards the heel of your hands, and then up into your fingers and down towards the earth. I'd like you to take a little pause on the top of the in-breath, and exhaling then nice and fully, nice and deeply out through the nose, and allowing all sides of the waist to draw back in towards center. And we'll do this a couple of times, just establishing this connection with a deeper breath, awakening that inner unit of your body, the deeper core. Really follow that exhalation right down to the base, to the very bottom. And inhaling again, 360 degrees, three-dimensional breath. Letting the hands come to rest alongside the outer hips. Continue breathing with this pattern. I'd like you to tilt your pelvis back as you ground the feet a little stronger in towards the earth. Pick your glutes up, your buttocks up away from the mat. We're not lifting too high as we don't want to compress the lower back here, just trying to activate the glutes a little bit more. Think of curling your tailbone up towards the ceiling. If you place the heel of your hands just on your front hip points, and while the back of the ribs stays nice and heavy, think of pressing those hip points up into the heel of your hand, and you'll start to feel a little bit more life in glutes and hamstrings here. And then place your hands back down and continue here with this three-dimensional breath. And you might start to feel a little bit more feedback from the breath moving in towards those back ribs. Keep that tail really curling up, glutes on. Heel toe the left foot just slightly in towards the midline. Pick the right leg up and bring it into a tabletop position, reverse tabletop. Trying to maintain now a level pelvis here. Draw your knee a little bit more up in towards your chest. And then nice and slowly, you're just going to tap that right heel to the mat. Again, keeping the pelvis as level as we can. Inhale as we bring the knee up, and exhaling as we tap the heel down. Feel the support from that left glute. Keep the breath three-dimensional here. Keep it flowing as we move. Allow that to be part of your support. And the next time we take that right leg up, we're just going to hold it up in space for a moment. And start to move into external rotation. So you're going to draw the right foot towards the left knee as you bring your right knee open. And we'll go into internal rotation as we start to pull now the pinky toe side of that right foot back. Feel the inner thigh rolling forward. And just do this a couple of times. And see if you can go into your full range here. You're going to really notice the heat now building a little higher, a little deeper through that left side. And one more time, we'll go into internal an external rotation. And then once you center the knee, lower the right foot back down, and we'll lower the hips towards the earth. And just pause here for a moment, and just notice what you notice. Heel to the right foot a little bit into the midline. Find the tuck of the tail first before you begin to lift the glutes. And we're not going too high again, we're watching that, we're not compressing the lower back here. We're really trying to awaken here those muscles of your buttocks and hamstrings. Back ribs stay nice and heavy, remember 3-dimensional breath. And then we'll take that left leg up and we'll tap the left heel down. So beginning to move the hip here through its degrees of movement, through its range. So working here into flexion and extension as we bring that knee up. And you'll just feel the hip pinching a little bit here, closing the hip as you move into flexion and then moving into extension as the heel taps down. And taking it through rotation now as we stack the knee over the hip. And we'll take external rotation first, and we'll move into internal. And you might notice there's a little bit more freedom in one of these. Maybe for you it's internal, I know for me it's external, and for many it's external. There's no right or wrong, just noticing what you notice here. And then you're going to just neutralize the leg, place the sole of the foot back down, hold it here for a breath. And roll your spine back towards the mat. Pause again for a moment. Just notice what you notice. Feeling into the sensations. Maybe they're slowly beginning to dissipate. And sense the breath. And we'll reach for the block or the book, whatever we have close by. If you don't have one, like I said, it's not necessary, but it's nice just to give you a little bit of feedback and start to build some heat now, some tension into the shoulders, into the arms. Once we hold the block, take your knuckles into the side of the book or block, and I want you to really firm in. As you firm your hands in, just start to feel the tension moving down into the shoulders, but be mindful of your neck. Try and keep the neck relaxed, the jaw nice and soft. As you inhale, we're starting to reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. I want the shoulder blades to protract, so they're broadening away from one another. Keep the back of the head nice and heavy here, and maintain that heaviness through the back ribs at the same time. As you exhale, we're going to bring the arms back into neutral, and then into retraction. So plug the upper arm bones down in towards the earth, and see if you can bring the shoulder blades a little closer and towards one another. Try and keep now the front of your ribs down towards your front hip points. You're going to inhale as you reach your fingertips towards the ceiling, find protraction. As we exhale, find neutral, and then see if we can find retraction. Inhale as we reach up with the fingers, feel protraction, neutral, and retraction. Protraction as you reach, neutral. Now this time you're going to bend your elbows and draw your elbows down by the sides of your ribs. And you might feel that retraction happening just a little deeper. Press your elbows into the earth and keep those front ribs drawing down. One more time, you're going to inhale as you reach. Central, neutral. And then we're going to come into retraction as we bend the elbows and draw them down by the side ribs. Well done. From here, you're going to reach the arms back up. Curl the tail. Lift the hips. Keep the back ribs nice and heavy. Again, we're not looking for spinal extension. We're working here a bit more into heating up those glutes. Now, what I want you to really focus on is the integrity here of your lower ribs. Keep them nipping in together and then drawing down towards those front hip points. You're going to inhale. As you exhale, reach the arms back behind you, nice and slowly, nice and slowly. Now I want you to pause here for a moment. Keep those ribs drawing down. And now reach your fingers as far back behind you as you can. So you're elevating your shoulders up towards your ears. And then plug the shoulders all the way back down. So there's space around the neck. Inhale as you reach the arms all the way back up. Keep squeezing into the block. Exhale, bring your thumbs back towards the earth. Reach your fingers as far behind you as you can. Let the shoulders shrug to the ears. Plug the shoulders back down as you exhale. Inhale, arms reach up towards the ceiling. And last time, as you exhale, bring the arms back. Nice and slowly. Reach your fingers as far back behind you. Feel the elevation in the shoulders. Depress as they sink back down. Create space around the neck. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, slowly lower your hips. And we'll release the block. Take it off to one side. Bring the arms back alongside you and we'll pause here for a moment. Again, just noticing what we feel in the body from that experience. Not only feeling into the physical tension or tenderness, sensations and pulsations, but maybe how's your mind reacting to this practice this morning? Interlace the fingers now, take them towards the back of the head. Narrow your elbows, pointing them up towards the ceiling. On the exhalation, you're going to curl head, neck and shoulders up away from your mat. And I want you to press your head back into your hands, just to bring some engagement into the muscles of the back of the neck. And think here again of those front ribs drawing in towards one another and then drawing down towards the pubic bone. You're going to float the right leg up and float the left leg up. Squeeze the inner thighs together, keep your toes pointed, and see if you can bring a little bit more of your shoulder blade up and away from the mat. Keep drawing the front ribs in, drawing them down. And as you inhale, you're going to tap the right foot to the mat. And exhale as you realign. Left toe taps, inhale. Exhale, realign. Right foot, inhale. Exhale, realign. Left foot, inhale. Exhale, restack. One more time, either side. Right foot, inhale. Exhale, stack. Left foot, inhale. Exhale as you stack. Inhale, head, neck and shoulders come back. Open the elbows wide. Exhale, curl it all the way back up again. Keep the curl. See if we can again lift a little higher. We might be shaking now. Nip those ribs in and down. Take the right hand, release it from the back of the head and bring your right arm to the outside of your right leg. Inhale here. As you exhale, see if you can reach now a little further forward. Try and keep the whole shoulder blade lifting up away from the mat. And we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep your breath. 6, 5. Keep reaching. 4. Protract that shoulder. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Rebend the elbow. Place it to the back of the head. Exhale as you recenter the ribs. Inhale. Lower the head. Open the elbows wide. Look to the ceiling. Chest is open. Exhale. Curl it all the way back up again. Again, see how much of the scapula can you lift away from the earth. Knit the ribs in, draw them down. Think of pulling your pubic bone up. Left hand reaches to the outside of your right leg. See again if you can reach and lift the shoulder blade. Holding. 10. Maybe you close your eyes and you breathe. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Curl up a little higher. 1. And exhale as you bend the elbow, place to the back of the head. And inhale. Lower the head, neck and shoulders. Open elbows wide. Release your feet down. Whew. Take a pause. Take a breath here. Inhale. Breathe right into the ribs. If you wish to take an audible sighing exhalation here, just clearing out, letting go. onto the right side of your body. I'm just going to flip around so I don't confuse you. And you can keep the back of your head supported here by that right hand. Align your knees with your hips and flex your feet so you can see your toes, and just stretch the left arm out. Keep the wrists in the same height as your shoulders so there's space between your hand and the earth. And we're just going to start to work a little bit into mobilizing that arm, getting some movement in. Now I want you to just start here with that same action that we did with the block. So as you inhale, you're going to reach as you protract the shoulder. Exhale, we're going to neutralize or centralize, and then see if you can retract, squeezing your left shoulder blade in towards the spine. And do that 2 more times. So you're going to inhale as you protract. Pull and plug the upper arm bone back till you feel things are neutral or central, and then see if you can find that retraction. And the feedback might be a little different now as you're got space behind you. Inhaling as you protract. Plug the upper arm bone back, and then see if you can squeeze the shoulder blade down in towards the spine. Well done. Now keep the arm central, so that space in between. And we're going to take it up towards the ear so the bicep frames the ear. Circle the arm back behind you. Bring it down by the outer hip. And just let that arm flow around the body 2 or 3 more times in this direction. Try and keep your chest from rolling open. And now you're going to reverse, but see if you can take the movement a little slower. Like there's a bit more tension. Things might feel slightly different. You might even have to go smaller with your circle, trying to avoid any compensation from the spine. And 1 more time, let that arm just circle around the body. Well done. Now coming onto your back body, place both of your hands behind your head. Stretch both legs towards the ceiling. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Press out into your elbows and feel that opening right across the chest, the heart. Exhale, narrow the elbows, curl head, neck and shoulders up. Inhale, drop your right leg. Now it might just drop 2 or 3 inches, or it might drop even further down. Think again of nipping the front ribs in and down. Curl a little higher up. Inhale as you reach the right leg back to the sky. Exhale, drop the left. Inhale to reach. Exhale as we drop. Inhale as we reach. Exhale, left leg drops. Inhale, left leg comes to stack. Exhale, right leg drops. Pause here. Take your right hand from behind your head. Reach it to the outside of your left thigh. Reach as far as you can, and we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8. Remember to breathe. Soften your jaw. 5, 4. Keep reaching. See if you can reach even further. 2, 1. Well done. Inhale. Bring the leg up. Bring the arm back. Exhale, lower head, neck and shoulders. Open the elbows wide. Inhale here. Cross the heart and chest. Exhale, narrow, curl it up. Left leg comes to a hover. Left arm reaches outside of right leg. See if we can again lift more of the scapula, left shoulder blade away from the mat. Keep reaching, find that protraction. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Stay with it. 3, 2, 1. Both legs up, hands to the back of the head. Exhale, lower head open, elbows, rebend the knees, plant them back onto the earth. Moving to the left side body now so we can circle that right arm around. So knees are stacked, head is resting on your left palm, right arm is reaching. Remembering we want to keep space between the earth and the palm, so about shoulder height. Inhale as we reach the arm first, find protraction. Exhaling as we plug the arm bone back, find neutral, and then find your retraction. So we're going to reach, come to center, and retract. One more time. Find the reach, protract, broaden, central, retract. Come back to central. Take the arm up, frame your ear with your bicep, and then circle the hand back behind you. Be really heavy with the outer left hip, and then think of firming the right side of your body down into the earth, trying to keep everything nice and stable here, but maintaining some length through the side of the waist as the arm circles around the body. What we're looking for here really is the humerus, the upper arm bone, to just be doing the movement. And if we lack mobility, if we lack the potential of movement in this range, we tend to compensate. So you might want to go smaller with your circle. As we start to reverse it, I want you to find that little bit of tension, working a bit deeper into the tissues here. More control in your movement. And then let that arm just circle one more time around the whole body. Well done. And releasing. Okay, come up onto your hands and your knees. Come to tabletop position. And set your knees so they're underneath the hips. Untuck your toes and firm down through the tops of the feet. Allow that feedback to pull up through the core of your body. Fingers are spreading out nice and wide. Grip slightly through the fingertips and think of the eye of, or the index knuckle pressing down. Wrap the eye of the elbow more forward. Firm your front hip points together as the belly draws up and away from the earth. Nice and stable here. Back of the neck stays long, chin slightly tucked in. And just hold it here for a moment. Really firm down through the tops of the feet. See what it would feel like if you tried to draw your forearms towards one another, but maintain that external rotation of the upper arm bone. Maybe you feel just a little bit more stable now here as you hold yourself. So this alone, just holding, is a lot of work. Tops of feet pressing down. Feel the inner thighs magnetizing towards one another, pulling up through the pelvic floor. Hip points firming, belly drawing up. Eye of the elbow wrapping forward as the forearms try and draw in towards one another. Pressing into that index knuckle and gripping through all fingertips. Well done. Take one more breath here. Now that same pattern of movement we were doing with the shoulder blades, with the scapula, we're going to repeat it here. So you're going to start with protraction. Really press down into your palms and think of sliding the shoulder blades a little bit more forward. Now try and avoid moving your pelvis in any way. And come back into neutral. And then you're going to slowly sink your chest towards the earth as the shoulder blades draw in towards one another. Protracting as we broaden the shoulder blades away from one another. Finding that neutral position, somewhere in between the two. And then sink your chest as you squeeze the shoulder blades together. One more time, moving into protraction, broadening. Finding neutral in between. Sinking the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Come back into your neutral position. Keep looking slightly more forward. On the next exhalation, you're going to bend your elbows and start to bring your chest towards the earth. Inhale, press your arms straight, straighten your elbows. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower your chest down. Inhale, press the arms straight. One more time, feel that heat. Now slowly, the lowering down phase is really where we build that strength. Bringing your chest towards the earth, your forehead down. And then use the strength of the arms, that push. Slowly now bring your bum back towards your heels. Drop down onto your elbows. Let the head just rest here for a moment. Just pause and breathe. Sense and feel. Inhale, come up onto all fours, down dog, curl the toes and lift the hips up and back for downward facing. I want you to focus now on pushing the floor away as much as you can and feel the shoulder blades now elevate up towards the ears. So think of hiding your neck with your shoulders. And then slowly draw the shoulder blades back towards the hips. So the head's going to move a little closer towards the floor. So you're going to push the floor away as much as you can. Let the shoulders elevate. And then think of that wrapping of the eye of the elbow more forward as you ground that index knuckle down. And then slowly let the shoulder blades slide back up towards the hips. Freeing the neck, creating space. One more time. Push the earth away. Pull the shoulder blades up towards the ears. See if you can elevate them even higher. And then exhaling as they plug, slide all the way back down. Slowly now, as you squeeze your elbows towards one another, lower your elbows down for dolphin pose. You might wish to adjust and walk the hands a little closer in towards one another. And I want you to do that same thing here. So you're going to push the ground away, elevate the shoulder blades up towards the ears, and then exhaling as you release. Slide them back. Inhaling, push. Feel your head moving even further up and away from the mat. And exhaling as the shoulder blades slide and the head moves closer. Now we're going to keep that push action. So push the forearms down, elevate the shoulder blades, and I want you to pause here. Really firm down into the elbows. Step your left leg a little closer in towards the midline. Step your right leg a little closer in towards the midline. Knit those front ribs in and up. And slowly as you inhale, draw the right leg back behind you. Keep your hips square. Exhale to lower. Inhale as you draw the leg back. Feel the glute press back into the heel. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale as you lift. And exhale to lower. Left leg, inhale. Lower, exhale. Left leg, inhale. Lower, exhale. Left leg floats, inhale. Lower down, exhale. Slowly drop the knees. Untuck the toes. Instead of child's pose, you're going to slide your hands all the way back behind you. Well done. Bend the elbows slightly here. Now, instead of overarching the lower back, I want you to think of opening the chest more. So really lift the breastbone up, open across the front of the shoulder, and bend the elbows back ever so slightly. Take a breath in here, breath into the heart, breath into the chest. Try and keep those ribs from flaring up. One more breath. And exhaling as you just relax your gaze forward. Lift the heel of the hand up, lift the hands up, away from the mat, slide them forward, and we'll take a down dog. Inhaling here. Exhale, just let go of the breath. Come high on your tiptoes, shift your gaze forward, and we'll step to the top of the mat. Soften into your knees, and just put a bit more weight back into the heels, almost like your bum is going to come to sit down into a chair. Turn your hands the other way around. For some, you might bend your knees even more. Put a little bit of pressure on the back of the hand. Drop your head. Maybe you wish to move it side to side, just freeing it up. And slowly now, as you ground and dig down into your feet, you're going to roll your spine. Come all the way up to standing, and we're going to inhale, take the arms out, reach them up towards the ceiling. Let the shoulders elevate, reach into the fingertips, ground into your feet. Exhale, fold from your hip creases as you come all the way down. Fingers can align with toes, hands to shins, and we'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, take your palms onto the earth, step right and left leg back, pause in your plank. Grip your fingertips here and think of the heel of the hand pulling back towards the toes as you pull the toes forward towards the heel of your hand. Slightly tuck tail under. Drop your knees, untuck your toes, and look a little bit more forward. Inhale. As you exhale, bend your elbows. We're going to lower down for 5. All the way. 4, 3, notice that point where you just want to drop yourself. Maintain integrity. 2, 1. Inhale, peel the heart up for cobra. Keep the shoulders dropping down. Exhaling as we lower. Use the strength of your arms. Inhale, push yourself straight up into a half a plank. Curl the toes. Exhale, let your hips glide up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels, come high up onto your tiptoes. Bend the knees deeply, lift your bum to the ceiling, look towards your fingers. Exhale, step, walk lightly, hop your feet forward. Half lift as you inhale. Bow, fold, exhale. Inhale, rising tall, reaching up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, connect your palms to the earth and step back, find your plank. We're pausing, inhale here, hold. Feel the pull. Maintain the pull. Notice the engagement here of the lower abdomen. Can you have the upper arm bone rolling forward, eye of the elbow? Forearms pulling in towards one another. If the hips are dipping too low, please modify your plank. Now you may wish to lower to the earth from high plank or take your knees down and your gaze is slightly forward. Back of the neck stays long. Bend the elbows for 5, for 4, for 3. Think the head of the shoulder rolling up and away from the mat for 2, for 1. Lower all the way down. Untuck your toes, find your cobra as you inhale, peel the heart up. Exhaling as we lower down. Pressing up onto your knees, straighten those elbows. Curl the toes, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, come high on the toes, raise your heels. Bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, lightly hop. Halfway lift as you inhale. Bow, fold, exhale. Rooting down, rising up, reaching up, inhale. Exhaling as you lower the arms. Chair pose, Utkatasana, bend your knees. Now think of, again, weight back more into the heels. Keep the spine nice and long. Folding right from those hip creases, take your arms and frame your ears. I want you to really reach up into your fingertips here. Lengthen down through your tailbone. Squeeze your inner thighs. And we're holding. Keep the breath as support. Weight a little bit more back into the heels, maybe bum sinking slightly lower. Keep reaching into those fingertips. Keep that reach. Right foot's going to stay forward. Step the left foot back slowly. Pull the arms back by the outer hips for arrow pose. Think of squeezing your palms together. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze in. Back of the arm, triceps firing here. Keep the breath steady and smooth. Keep the squeeze of the arms. Next exhalation, left knee comes to the mat. Inhale, bring both arms, connect your fingertips together. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Think of those front ribs dropping down and dropping in. Now engage the left buttock here as you pull the right heel slightly back. Maybe you look up, maybe you don't. Keep the shoulders elevating. Next exhalation, bring your hands behind your back, interlace the fingers. Now instead of straightening the elbow, keep your hands at the back of the pelvis here by your sacrum. Draw your elbows back. Feel the head of the shoulders rolling back. Squeeze your elbows here. Feel that opening across the heart and chest. Keep the left buttock engaged. Breath smooth. From here, start to straighten out your elbows. Let the chest lift, remember, and keep the tail lengthening down so we're not overarching through the lower back. Chest opener, heart opener. Broadening the collarbones. One more breath here. And then center your gaze forward, take your back knee lifted up and away from the earth. Lean the chest more forward. Left foot steps to meet right. Chair pose. Release the gripping of your hands, but keep the squeeze. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, sit back into your chair. Squeeze your thighs together. Sink a little bit lower this time. Lengthen back through the tail. Keep reaching into those fingertips. Front ribs nipping in and down. Can you sit even lower? Reach those fingertips. Think of a block between your palms. Stay with it. Be aware of the internal dialogue. Stepping back into arrow pose. Right leg reaches, arms sweep by outer hips. Keep the right buttock now so nice and strong. Squeeze your palms back towards one another. Arms here are in an extension. Strong back leg. Make sure hips are square. Repetition seems a little bit easier now, doesn't it? Okay, take your back knee to the mat. Both arms reach up towards the ceiling. Take your fingertips together. As you reach your arms up towards the ceiling, feel the shoulders elevate towards the ears, and we'll pause here. Squeeze the right buttock. I remember when I did my training, and it was, say, a solid month of Ashtanga yoga where you hold nothing for longer than 5 breaths. And at the end of it, I went into a Hatha yoga class where you hold for nearly up to a minute. And the intensity was nowhere near an Ashtanga practice, but by God, did I find it challenging. Longer holds. Whew. Challenge the mind, right? Alright, keep that squeeze. It's just a different type of practice. So remember the breath, always there as support. And that can just keep your mind out of too much dialogue. Now let the hands come back behind you, interlace the fingers. Remembering here, we don't want to straighten the elbows too quickly, we want to keep the hands at the back of the sacrum. Head of the shoulder, rolling back, keeping that opening here. Tail is lengthening down, so we try and stay neutral in the pelvis and lower back. Squeeze your elbows back. Now start to straighten your arms. Reach the knuckles towards the earth. See if you can lift your chest up a little higher. Just the chest lifting. We're not sinking the hips any more forward, staying in this 1990 variation. One more breath. Well done. Okay. Curl the back toes under. Lift the back knee up away from the mat. Chest is going to reach more forward. Right foot steps next to left. Chair pose, Utkatasana, squeeze your thighs together. Release the gripping of your fingers, keep the squeeze in the arms. Things are going to tire now. And we'll inhale, straighten the legs, reach the arms up. And we'll let the palms connect, just draw them down through that midline. Bring them to the heart for a moment. Close the eyes. And again, just pay attention. Feel what you're feeling. Release the hands. Chair pose, bend the knees. Arms are going to frame the ears. Squeeze your thighs together. Slowly step back with the left, reach the arms back. Inhale, arms are going to reach towards the ceiling. Going to take a twisted crescent. Take your left hand down. You might walk the right foot a little further away. Reach the right arm up towards the ceiling here. So twisted crescent to Vashisthasana side plank. Look down at your left hand. Look at the bicep and make sure that it's rolling forward. Grip your fingertips here. Come to the pinky toe edge side of your left foot and stack your right foot on top. If you need to scissors the feet, or you might modify by having your right knee bent and the sole of the foot just resting on the mat. Outer right hip lifting towards the ceiling. Take your right arm up over the line of your right ear. Now look towards the top of the mat, take the right leg, bend the knee, and we're going to slowly step the right foot up, drop your left heel, and you're going to come up into goddess pose. And my back to you here. So toes out at a diagonal, sink your hips nice and low, and then think of squeezing your shoulder blades in towards your spine. Bend at your elbows. Pull the elbows back. You're going to pulse here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep pulling the elbows back. Drop the front ribs down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 10, 9. Maybe you sink a little deeper. Think of squeezing your inner knees out. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Now as you exhale, we're going to come back into our crescent twisted lunge. Take your left hand down, reach the right arm up. Inhale here. Hover your left hand up and away from the mat. I know everybody loves this. Inhale, come up into a twist. Both arms frame the ear. Send the chest forward. Bend deeply into the right knee. Step into chair pose. Squeeze the thighs together. Keep squeezing your thighs together. Lift the right heel. Step back. Find your crescent. Arms pull back by outer hips. Right buttock engaged. Inhale. Arms reach for crescent. High crescent. Twisted crescent. Right arm down. Left arm reaches the ceiling. Maybe left foot walks slightly out to the left. Now have again look down at the arm. Think of rolling the bicep more forward as you press into your index knuckle. Keep that shoulder nice and strong. Come to the pinky toe edge side of the right foot. Left leg scissors on top. Outer hip lifting high. Maybe we bring left arm in line with left ear. Pause. Look towards the top of the mat. Lift the left leg. Slowly step the left foot forward. Drop the right heel. Open out goddess pose. Pull the shoulder blades in towards one another. Bend at the elbows. Sink your hips a little lower. And we'll pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sink a little lower. Hold. Squeeze the inner knees out. Hold. Breathe. Close your eyes. 7, 6, 5. Feel the tone in the pelvic floor, drawing right up through the center of the body. 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Crescent lunge, top of the mat. Hover the hand. Squeeze the outer hips in. And then slowly pull yourself up into your twist. Left arm back, right arm forward. Now look forward. Frame both ears with the upper arm bones. Lean the chest forward, step forward. Find your chair. Squeeze your thighs together. Reach into those fingertips. Sink your bum even further back. Hold. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, bow and fold. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, connect your palms, step back, find plank, pause, inhale here. Modify, take the knees down if you need to first, bend the elbows for 5, 4. Keep the head to the shoulder, pulling back. 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way to the earth on top of the toes. Bring the arms out into a cactus. Elbows in line with shoulders. Pull up through the lower belly, press down with the pubic bone. Forehead stays resting as we inhale. Draw the arms up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and exhale as we lower. Inhale as we lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the head, lift the feet. Exhale, stay here. Pull the elbows in by the ribs and reach the arms back. Palms are open. Reach your fingertips towards your heels. Pull the back of the hands in together. Locust pose. One more breath. Inhale. And exhaling as we release. Turn your head to the right. Release the arms down by the outer hips. Close the eyes, let your pelvis just gently rock side to side. Again, just being aware. Noticing what you notice. And starting to let the breath really slow itself down so it becomes effortless. Fingers, take them underneath the shoulders. Bring yourself to your knees. Take your knees wide and your big toes together and bring your bum all the way back into your heels, child's pose. Keep enough space for your belly now to just breathe and be soft, completely letting go. Walk your hands a little bit more forward and then take them wide. Palms are grounding. Just feel a nice stretch here happening underneath the arm line. Slide your fingers towards your knees, lift your belly ribs up out of your thighs, draw your inner thighs together. Bring the hands back behind you, fingers pointing towards the top of the mat, soft bend into the elbow. And again, just let the chest lift rather than overarching through the spine. Slowly restack yourself, interlace your fingers behind your back. Draw the shoulder blades in towards the back of the heart. As you lift the chest, we're going to look up again, inhaling. Exhale, ribs towards your thighs. Forehead down. Now you can just stay here, lift the knuckles up away from the mat, or you may wish to come into what we call a rabbit pose, or some variation where your hips now lift up out of your heels as you come and put some weight on the top of the head, going a little deeper into the shoulders. Slowly sink your bum back into your heels. Release the hands, place them forward. Bend the elbows, look towards your thumbs. Come up onto the forearms. Curl the toes, lift the hips. Dolphin pose. Think of lifting the armpits up and away from the earth. Can we shrug the shoulders a bit more up towards the ears? And you may wish to just simply stay here in a static hold for 10 breaths. If you've got forearms stand in your practice, you're welcome to go ahead and do so. Or you may wish to just bring the one leg up behind you as you inhale and then exhale, lower. Inhale, exhale, lower. Or you may wish to do a little hop, bending into the left knee, and see if you can just float in the air for a moment. So your choice to just do a little bit of play. And if you're pooped, listen to the body and just come down onto your knees and allow yourself to rest. Just 2 or 3 more breaths in whatever variation you're playing with here. And when you feel ready to, just remember you can also turn me off if you wish to just continue moving and doing your own little bit of endo practice. or you can just start to make that transition now into our final rest. So just make sure that you have enough support around you, enough clothes to keep you warm, enough layers. And again, as always, if your body needs any last posture, whether it's a spinal twist, a little wiggle around, something that will feel good for you. And as you find that resting shape, you can come into a very traditional Shavasana. You may wish to come to a seat or come into a side lying position. And I invite you to place the hands on the body. You might want to bring the left hand to the heart and the right palm to rest on the lower belly. And settling the body down here into the earth. Allowing yourself to be held in support. Support from the ground and support from yourself. Through your soft touch, through your breath. I invite you for these few remaining moments together here is to focus on the out-breath. Allow the inhalation just naturally arise itself. And just a very gentle but long exhalation. Allow that to just release from the body in an effortless but controlled way. And it has a beautiful effect on making sure that your system is calm and regulated after quite a uplifting and stimulating practice, especially when we work into opening the energies around the heart. And if you can just give yourself this peace and this time. And I will hold you here just for another 4 or 5 minutes. And I will bring you out through the sound of the bell. So enjoy this silence, this stillness, and the time to be with your breath. So let your attention move from the breath into the physical body. And you can just slowly start to wiggle about, to stretch and move, to awaken yourself here. Whether it's just through a traditional wiggle of toes and fingers, whether you want to take a nice big yawn or sigh and roar the breath out. And we'll meet in a seated position when you're ready. Take your time to get there. And we'll take the hands together in front of the heart for Anjali Mudra. And as you just take a moment, just notice how you feel physically now in your body after that strong practice this morning. And notice how you may be feeling in your heart. And how you may be feeling in the mind. I often believe that after moving in this way, the mind may be really settled and it is prime for meditation. So if you do have the space and time, even just to sit for a further 5 or 10 minutes, I really encourage you to do so. And we'll just bow the head forward together. And acknowledging that space within us all, that deeper space through a breath in and out of the heart, inhaling. Exhaling. And if you have an intention, a heart's prayer, moment of gratitude to your body, to life, or to just simply this moment. And from my heart to your heart, thank you for your practice this morning or this afternoon, and namaste to you. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.